Grand Rising, young people. I could not wait to get on here so I could cry in somebody else's beer. Holy moly, I can't even drink beer anymore. so, I don't know how many of you have heard, but the crypto currency or the crypto investments, they crashed this week. So I'm going to cry again in somebody else's beer. But until then, I can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I figured out how to uh, like and subscribe to other people's channels finally. And I found it out quite by accident by being on someone else's channel and looked at the top chats. And I just clicked on them and opened up the profile. And I saw that I could subscribe to their channel that way. If I clicked on it, open up their profile will come up, and I could invest in it. I'm like, oh, I mean, not invest. I got investments on my mind, but I'm invested in the kingdom of heaven here on earth. But it was nice to have a couple dollars on the side, and they took half of that. And I tell you, the only thing that really wasn't affected was my and I don't know if I want to say this because, who, if you put stuff out there, um, you know what's going to happen. But I do have a little that I can back up on. What I try to do is save enough to pay for my rent for 6 months to a year. So, yeah, so good luck with that. I was fortunate that I think we had two crashes within the last year. And the first one kind of affected me, but it didn't because I would still invest in the cryptocurrencies and stuff. So, I just invested in one. I put my $50 discretionary funds into Black Wall Street. I believe it's all one word. And you can invest in it just being a regular person. Like you don't have to be a trade person. Okay. So the Black Wall Street, I invested 50 in that. But the problem was I did it on Coinbase. And I'm not really sure how it went, but I think they took 20, I think they took 20 out because I'm watching it go down steadily. So I put the 50 in and I think they took out 20. And it may be because I went through Coinbase. So what I'm going to try to do now is go to the Black Wall Street straight through their website. Okay. Um, you know you got the right one if they asked you to uh, invest in Solana, Solana. So the reason why I did Coinbase is because I had Solana. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me try the Coinbase. So I was able to start it, but with Solana, I was able to find it, the Black Wall Street. And so I figured out, well, let me just do it that way because they did say that you could invest in it if you were on Coinbase. So I figured I'd try that as opposed to doing it straight through their website. Now, a long time ago, it seems that I learned this little lesson. Most of what you hear, if you're watching TV or especially if you're watching TV, or if you were watching videos and stuff like that. Most of the stuff is commercials, and they all want something. You could tell they want something because nobody gives you anything for free. They came up with the cure for this. They came up with the cure for that. Uh, Join this website and we'll tell you what the cure was or whatever. I don't know. So I mean, even cures for humanity have a cost. You know what I'm saying? This world is something else, and I really wasn't all that concerned about this world until this crash hit me, and it hit me hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. I actually went into a, a plasma center today. I kind of thought it was a plasma center, but if you are looking for a job, if you're young or something, or if you're looking to make a couple bucks, don't forget those plasma centers. Right? It didn't look like it was jam packed, but I think in order for me to join that, I might have to have a doctor's permission. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send an email to my PCP and ask them whenever I get done here if they think I could donate plasma. So let's see, because I remember them from years and years ago. I started to donate plasma back when it was you could donate twice a week for 30 bucks a pop. So that's kind of how I kept myself in beer and cigarettes, and probably still had a couple bucks. That's how long it was. And probably had a couple bucks to help somebody out. But the way I live, I always had money, some kind of money. But now at this point, I'm not really sure. I mean, I still have an income, but it comes in once a month. So, uh, having income that comes in once a month, I think is worse than living paycheck to paycheck. So I don't know how you people, young ones, older ones, I don't know how y'all are making it. But anyway, we're not going to worry about it. We'll let God do it. So anybody who needs prayer, I'm praying. So put your prayer request in there, and I'll go ahead and pray for you. Okay. So how can I pray for you? Things are tight for me, but I can still pray and not curse God. Okay. The deceiver will do that. There's two things that's going to be hard to recognize: the deceiver um, doing something against you, and the Most High uh, holding things back from you. So you kind of look at the Most High, you pray, and seems like nothing happens, and you won't be able to figure out why He's not answering it because you have a need. So I think I learned a long time ago that He isn't moved by our needs; He is moved by His words. Okay, so He's moved by His word so much that it actually says that His word will not return to Him void. Okay, so He didn't say that your need will be returned void. Nope, He didn't say that. He said that only His word will last. So we're going to have to find those first to use. Now I know that there are prosperity churches and stuff like that, and they preach that prosperity gospel. And to be fair, when I was doing well, I was doing that. I was paying the tithe, and eventually I ran out of it. I was doing really, really good. And this isn't one of those I'm going to look back over my life and just in anything, but I was doing really good. Uh, I'm doing that. But at some point, I decided, okay, God got this. I don't have to worry about it enough. Little by little, stuff started getting taken away. So you can avoid that. Find something to give to. You're going to think it's you that is the problem, young people, or new people. It isn't. These things that you are experiencing would be there for others to experience. It just it's just your turn. Okay. Remember, there was a murderer on the cross, and there was a thief on the cross, and he was in the middle. So these things will happen um, to if you keep living long enough. Sooner or later, these things will happen to you. But be of good cheer. The Most High is not going to let them hurt you. Okay, even though I just gave you that example, he isn't going to let them hurt you. His word says he has never seen his seed begging bread. Okay, so here's what you're going to find. People. All right, so it isn't anything that you've done in your past, right? I'm telling you right now, it isn't. Whatever you're going through is to really actually teach you how to depend on Him moment by moment. Okay, it's kind of easy to believe in Him and trust in Him if you if everything's going okay, right? But His goal in all of our lives, the Creator's goal in all of our lives, is to depend on Him moment by moment, not need by need, but moment by moment. And you're not going to know how to do that. So you're going to have to ask for help. I listen to K Love Radio, and they play that Christian music all day. Okay, so I'm learning how to meditate, and that helps. But since I have a problem with, I might drink every once in a while, I get distracted and I fall off. So one thing I can tell you is it's got my attention now, and I'm going to go back to just fellowshipping with him, you know, listening to that music, reading that Bible. Is basically what I should have been. One thing I found about the Most High, and you're going to find this out too, young people. If you fall off or whatever, when He brings you back, you will be where you would have been if you had kept going. Okay, so you may not have to start from zero. He'll just take you from where you are, and this is where you've been all along. Okay, so remember, there are stumbling blocks that is going to be placed in front of you. I just want to use some of the words that people use, okay, nowadays, or sometimes you might find that in the Bible. It's a stumbling block, and you're sure going to find it, right? Because it's put there. Okay, you don't put your own stumbling blocks up, right? The deceiver does. All right, so look, young people, I worked on and off throughout my life. Things kind of fell into place. I wasn't uh, riding around in new cars. I did have one part in my life when I had newer cars, and I actually had a conversion van. But these types of things don't really last, okay? So that's one of the things that you're going to find, young people. Whatever you have, whenever you're doing good and whenever you're prospering, it works for a while. Okay? So it doesn't last forever. Look at any of the pop stars and rock stars and stuff like that. Um, Rock stars and pop stars, they eventually come out of it. And I think that they come out of that popularity or being famous. I think they're actually doing that with LeBron right now. I think he's coming to a point where hey, he's been doing it for 20 something years. So, and I don't know that. I haven't followed him, but according to the cancer culture or whatever, he's been in his field for, I think, anywhere from 20 to 25 years. And they're asking him, uh, is he ready to retire? Okay. So I don't know. He probably got everything socked away with when you have to rely on your savings and your investments and stuff. Uh, you might as well forget it. One thing about relying on savings is you take away from it, and it doesn't really increase. Right? Eventually, it's going to go down to Zippo, Zippo. Okay, and it's the same thing with your investments. That stock market crashes, at least the investments. Maybe not so much the stock market. It's holding pretty steady, but the crypto stuff, if you're in that, it will get you. There's this company called Root, and what they do is they invest in rental properties, and you invest with them, and they'll give you a portion of whatever they're collecting from the rents. Okay, and you know you're watching the right commercial if you hear the ladies, if you hear a lady say that she lost a yacht betting on the or investing in the cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Okay, so um, so they put it right there in your face. Okay, so most of us, so we don't invest. We don't know how to invest in whatever I had in the cryptos and stuff. I didn't. I never really knew how to do it. I just knew how to put the money in there and see if it increases. So the crypto is not like the stocks. You have to move that crypto around, and I never had all that. I wasn't into it all like that. I just figured, okay, take 50 bucks, put it in there, and sit and see what happens. That's pretty much how I invested. So either way it goes, everybody took a hit on that, and it's been bad since the tariffs because I watched whatever I had go down and down anyway once the tariffs started. And eventually, I don't know what happened. This week, they just took everything. So um, I'll work on that one thing at a time. If the door closes, I believe that if you're in the kingdom of heaven, another door will open. So kind of look out for that. Now, there's two types of people in the kingdom of heaven. There are there are your overthinkers, okay, and there are your non-dialogue persons. And I don't know which one is worse, being an overthinker in the kingdom or being a non-internal dialogue person. So kind of look at a non-dialogue person as somebody uh, that works well off of a schedule. They can go from this to this to this. All right. And so they'll probably get the job done better and faster than a overthinker. You know, it turns out that overthinkers like you and I, we don't get as much done because we're busy overthinking. I just heard somebody say that the other day as I was being distracted scrolling. Okay, so things you try will work out for you though, and guess what? Everybody is struggling. Ask your friends. Okay, if I'm getting my butt kicked financially, I know everybody else is. Am I right? Ask them. Those of us that have had the Most High come through over and over throughout our lives, no, He won't leave us begging bread. But it's tough for us too. Okay? So let's all donate to a water fund. I think I can give my way out of this because years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, our church would help build wells in Africa. They had bottles of water, and if you donated like $20, you can get a bottle of water. And they had them out in front of the church, all the way lined up in front of the church. You just go through, get a bottle, and go make your donation. And when I was doing stuff like that, I, I was okay. Right? I wasn't bad off as everybody else was, but there's always somebody going worse than you are. That's me on up because now I'm going worse than some others, but I'm still not baking bread. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So I'm going to try to donate to waterfund.org. Okay. I'm going to start small since I buy stuff online that I really don't need. Like I got these headphones. Okay. And I got these because I don't want to get the ones that stick in your ear because they say you get radiation off of it. I had a pair of these and one of them fell when I was visiting someone, and I didn't know it, but it fell on the floor, and it had a dog, and they had a dog in there that found it, and I guess they thought it was something to eat. So now I'm down to just the one headphone, which turns out to be fine because when we grew up, that's all we really had was the one headphones. We didn't have these two headphones like you guys do. I thought I plugged this up to charge it. Boy, I guess I didn't. Let me put it where I can see it. Let me put it where I can see it. All right. So, and see if there are other organizations that you can give to and give your way out of poverty. Okay. All right. Or uh, how about Doctors Without Borders? These are two places that people know about that are legit. So if you're afraid of giving something that might be a scam or something, well, there are organizations that you can give to that you know are legit. So Charity Water Fund or Charity Water is legitimate. I checked it up on Google or ChatGPT and Doctors Without Borders, right? And places like that. Okay, he uses what we have over here to fix what is wrong somewhere else. So the little bit of funds we have over here can benefit people who don't have no funds. See how that works? So you take what he gives you and let it go to uh, charitywaterfund.org, okay? Or you take the funds you have and send it to Doctors Without Borders. Because I don't know if these guys are funded or not. I don't know where they get their funding, but if they are trying to get some money from you, chances are pretty good they're not getting government grants or nothing like that there. So when we did our water fund, I believe the pastor at the time, um, as we gave, I think he went over and actually saw the well that the church was helping build. Long time ago, um, uh, I was a giver. I've always been a giver. So there was this organization that had young people who had needs and stuff. So I was given to them, and uh, his he had two last names. I'll always remember that he had two last names, but I can't remember his first name. But once I started giving them to him, he started to plant a tree for me. I was like, oh, okay, okay. So somewhere overseas, I got a tree. Okay. So I mean, I guess you could kind of do that here. Um, but our thing is, if you plant a tree around here or something, somebody's going to cut it down. Okay, because we just had this Christmas tree that was at least 3 to 5 stories high, and they just cut it down. So it's been there for the entire time I lived here. But one day I came home, and they were cutting that joker down. So I mean, I kind of get it because if you're a homeowner, you're going to be worried about that tree falling on your house, especially with this inclement weather we had. And right about it, the ground freezing and then falling. Ooh, boy. So, and then we were having wind. Holy moly. Gust force winds and stuff. And, this tree was pretty sturdy. I wasn't really worrying about that tree falling on the house, but I would worry about it being uprooted because of the thawing and the watering and spring season is coming up. And oh boy, and plus it's on a hill. So the water, of course, is going to run down past the roots and stuff. Good, man. Somebody decided it had to go. It wasn't me. All right. So he uses what we have over here to fix what they need over there. All right. Then he increases you. All right. So I found that as long as I was doing stuff like that, I was doing pretty good. Okay. I mean, I wasn't. I didn't have a car, right? But I was still doing okay. All right. So make sure, young people, new people, that whatever you're going through with all these changes and try to remember the orange man is kind of messing people up with the tariffs and stuff, but he's also the one who helped us out with the what do you call it? Stimulus. He's also the one who helped us out back in what 2020 or something like that. There, so maybe he'll do it again because you see, he doesn't have a thing with money because he took that house, not the house. He's trying to build a ballroom. Oh, so he took out the west wing and he's building a ballroom, and he's doing that with other people's money. There's money out there. So uh, if the well-to-do people can find it, we can find it too. The Bible says, "I live among my own people. I have no need of anything." It's just we. I don't know. What the ones that we ask that don't really help us. You're going to find out the ones that you help, they can't really help you. All right. So, for example, I gave someone a couple $100. They were like, "Yeah, I'll pay you Tuesday." It was the first time this person ever asked, so I figured they'd pay me Tuesday, like they said. So one Tuesday came and went, and then of course you're gonna, be like, "Oh well, maybe they'll pay me next week, or maybe they meant next Tuesday." Well, the only thing I could say is next Tuesday was yesterday. So, uh, oh, what day is that? Let me see. Oh yeah, all right. Today's Wednesday. So Tuesday was yesterday. I ain't hear from this joker. So I don't know. Uh, my phone. This is just how things happen. My phone screen just went out. Okay. Now it took me a couple of days to figure out that it was still ringing. Okay, but I couldn't answer it. Okay, because the screen, you couldn't slide the little green button or the little red button to answer it. And I was like, okay. And eventually, since I'm having this on and off love hate relationship with this particular earbud, I never was able to answer the phone with it. Never was. It doesn't have a button on here where you push or anything. Now, you can hold it and it'll turn on and it'll turn off, but it wouldn't answer the phone. So this is the one that I will carry around because it's in my ears and I could hear. Right. This one, and I could put on my ear, but I couldn't control the volume on it. I tapped it, I squeezed it, I did everything, but it never would. Uh, all right, so I could answer the phone with this, but I wasn't thinking about this one because I was using this one for. I wasn't thinking about this one because I was using this one for a couple of days. All right, so this whole nightmare started like maybe Friday. Right, the screen went off, but now, let me tell you about the Most High, right, and how He saved me through this dilemma. The um, phone that I have that I couldn't answer, I had an alarm set, and I set it to go off twice. I set it to go off 10 minutes before I wanted to get up and 20 minutes after I got up. Right? Now, the problem was I can't control it because the screen wouldn't light up. So I couldn't see the numbers, I couldn't see uh, anything. So when that joker went off, it just keeps going off because you have to swipe the screen in order to dismiss it. All right. So that was a monster. So I finally tried messing around with it, and I figured out that uh, since the screen wasn't lit, but the functions were still under the screen, so I could scroll up and tap it, and it would shut it off. I can also shut the alarm off by using the power button or the volume button, but I couldn't turn it off. That would snooze. And that would make it worse because the snooze was set for 5 minutes. So I know I was driving people crazy. All right. So I didn't want to let the phone die because I came up with a solution. I can answer the phone with this one. Now I had two of these, one for one ear and one for the other ear. But um, I found the other one by a trash can. Apparently, when I went out to empty the trash, the other one fell. All right, now I didn't see it; it's black. Sometimes when these earphones fall off, you don't really see it or think about it. Okay, because they don't. They're they're not like these. All right. All right. So I went to these because they say that these will give you brain cancer. So I went to these. Oh, boy. Then the problem with these is uh, you need the small USB. I got the regular USB. I think I got the USB C. Yeah, I got 90 of those, but the little smaller ones, I don't have. I got a couple of them. And I'm either using one or trying to find the other one. I try to keep them all together, but you know how our plans are. If you want to make the Most High laugh, tell them your plans. Sheesh. Okay. So, just bring you up to speed. So, I went to my uh, cell phone provider and I told them about the screen and stuff like that, and they told me, well, you can replace it for 120 bucks. I was like, what? Well, I have insurance. They were like, oh, okay, well, you have a copay. And I think the last time I lost one of these, my copay was 75 bucks. I was like, oh man, what's the point of having insurance? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it turns out that this phone is still under warranty. So they couldn't use my copay and replace it because it was still under warranty. So now I had to go to a place called You Fix It. I mean, you break it, I fix it. Okay. And I think we have one down here, but in my neighborhood, maybe a block or two off the main road. I'll see. I'll see because the You Break It, I'll Fix It. They have two stores. All right. So one store is a little further away and it's closer to the city, and I'm not inclined to go that way. So I went to the one the other way, going into the suburban type of areas. So I got there, I told him what the problem was, and he didn't have the screen. Okay. And he couldn't do a diagnostics on it because his diagnostic tool was down. I'm telling you, it's bad everywhere, people. Don't feel bad. I mean, you have to go through it, but you always went through stuff. Okay. Remember, I gave this example before. When you were born, they say there's a million sperm trying to make it into that egg. If you were here under the sound of my voice, you are literally a million to one. Okay. And being a million to one can't be for you to come down here and get uh, or be born into a miserable life. There has to be a reason for you to beat out all those other competitors for life. Right? So we're gonna. I know you're not gonna like this, but we're gonna have to find a way to get uh, what we have and not necessarily using employers. Um, Everybody knows that we have to pay water, we have to pay lights, we have to pay phone bill, we have to pay taxes, we have to get new clothes. Everything that we have, every bit of money we make goes to something else. And we get that from employment. But that can't be the only way to earn money. So you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to find a way for you to make money, not necessarily depending on employers. Let me tell you something. You see those big, nice, shiny buildings in downtown? Half those offices are empty. I would say anywhere from a third to half of them are empty. And I think the bigger the building, the more inclined it is to have more empties. And somebody just used that building for, I don't know, tax shelter or something. I don't know why they would buy a building before they had people move into it. I don't know why they would do that. Right? Then they would pay for it in advance to get it built. Okay. So society has a way of keeping people employed. So that's how they do it. Okay. But remember, all those buildings that you see, they're half empty. And even if they are building a new one, we have one that was just finished being built. I say maybe within the last 3 years or so. I haven't went in there, but I'm going to just go ahead and say it's half empty. The next time I go down that way, I'm going to look and see if it's. I'm going to look at the parking lot. Your parking lot will tell you if it's empty or not. Okay, so you figure every office should have at least 4 to 5 people in it. depending on the size of the office, it could be more or it could be less. But if everybody has a car, there should be a car in the parking lot for 4 or 5 people. And yeah, some people catch the bus, and especially if that new building is on the busway. So I don't imagine that many people catch a bus to work in those brand new buildings, right? Because those jobs, they tend to pay. So if you're working in there, probably got a car now. Okay. So anyway, take what you have and sell it. Somebody will always buy something. That's just how people are. If you got something to sell, sell it. If you have something to give away, there's always somebody who wants it. Don't forget the blood banks. Okay, do those and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Where else? Where else can you go? I'm just kind of looking at those two right now, and I'll see how it goes later because I do have enough to probably sustain me until I find a job. And I'm retired, and I'm just not really trying to go back to work. But I thought about it, since I don't have any money. I thought about it, and I was like, oh boy, I guess I have to go back to work. But what I'm going to try to do, I never really took a job that was really that far from where I live. Okay, so if there's a job that's 20 miles from me, chances are pretty good I'm not going to take that job. Anywhere from 10 to 15 miles from me, I'm not going to take that job because I know I'm going to have to catch a bus. All right. Or then I knew I was going to have to catch a bus, and I'm going to be late. That's just how it is. Whether it's the bus, I just recently caught a bus, and it broke down. I've never been on a bus that broke down. Out of all the years that I've been riding on a bus, the Port Authority Transit never had one break down, and that I can remember. But the last couple of months, one did. They pulled up to my stop. I, I believe I had my bicycle, and I put my bicycle in the rack. And then the lady answered. I mean, the lady opened the door, and she said, "Oh, this bus is broken." I was like, "Oh." So she had somebody coming, and since it was on the busway, so I figured that. Okay, well, it'll take a couple of minutes, and there are other buses that come behind it. The problem was where the stop was. The buses that come behind it, they discharge at that stop only, and there is one other bus that goes pretty close to where I work. If I wanted to ride that to the end of it, then I could take my bike, hop off, and ride to the other job. I mean, ride to my job. All right, so that was cool. So I figured, well, I'll just stand there. And plus, it was a time of day where the buses weren't pretty good. So even though this one broke down, I was pretty sure that there was going to be another one in at least 10 to 15 minutes. And it wasn't really that cold outside. Fortunately for me, it was kind of like a nice day. So I did a video on it. If you've been watching me on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook channel, you've probably seen what would have happened because it was a chance for me to share it. And I love to share. Misery love sharing, don't that doesn't it? All right, so uh, all right, so I would do that if I were you young people. Try to use the plasma bank, and don't forget flaggers.com. I told somebody about flaggers.com on this channel within the last 30 days. And sure enough, it's like if you buy a car and the color is like purple or something. Then you go out and you start driving around, and all of a sudden you start seeing that car that others bought. I have a Jeep, and there are a lot of Jeeps. Now, some of them are newer, some of them are older, but I want you young people to know that whatever mankind makes, it got issues. If you got a newer car, if you got an older car, it's going to break down, right? So I learned that when I was working for emergency roadside service. And what I would do was I would dispatch cars to people. They got flat, they need to jump, they hit a deer or something like that there. And I didn't really have a noticeable amount of older cars. The years seemed to be current that needed towing and stuff like that there. Every car has a quirk, okay? So you look at the grass is not greener on the other side. Just because people got cars, um, I've heard stories about people who lived in their car. I'm like, oh, I could never been down that far. So fortunately, I got a good relationship, and I'll probably be able to here, make it through here until I get back on my feet and see what the Most High has for me. And He always has something for you, and He always brings it through when you need it. The, the situation I find myself in, I got it when I was falling or slipping into anxiety and depression. And I would wake up, get out of the bed, go into the living room, and lay down on the couch because I'm retired, right? And I don't know how long I did that. I don't know how long this anxiety or depression started. Most times I don't know I'm in it until I'm in it. And it got so bad uh, for me, just from going from the bed to the couch. It was actually a couch bed. Um, I got rid of that couch bed. Okay, I had my little niece and nephew who were really pretty strong because that couch bed is heavy. They wiggled it out because you know how it is getting the couch out of a door. They wiggled it out between them, and they just threw it away from me. And fortunately, my trash guys, they picked it up. Now sometimes they'll pick up a couch bed, but they won't pick up a trash bag that's too heavy. I don't get it. I think we all got that with the trash police. So, um, so fortunately, they did pick it up, and I remember then when it was time for the holidays, which I do not celebrate, and I gave them all a can of beer. So there were like maybe two in one truck, two in the other truck, because coincidentally, this particular day, the regular trash truck and the recycle truck, they were right behind each other. And they don't usually do that because the recycle truck will come in the morning and come early in the morning. It's still dark outside sometimes. And the regular trash truck would come in the afternoon, right? But this particular day, they were both together. So I got the regular trash guy. I gave them three cans, and then we so they figured, so they finished and doing the trash. And then the regular um, recycle guy, he was right behind him. So I gave them two more. I kind of felt bad because I think they had three in there, but that's pretty much all I had. Um, was it? I probably only had like a six pack or something like that. It was, I gave them five. I was planning on going out later to get some more anyway. But anyway, um, I digress. So I remembered that they took that on couch bed for me, and I also had learned that if a trash bag is too heavy, they won't take it. Now here's my thing. I started buying the lawn bags, okay, because the regular trash bags you would use four of them a month, right? And sometimes I just didn't have that much trash in it. And you can't keep the trash in your house. You have to get rid of it every week. And if you do keep it in the house, it got to be in a part of the house. Okay. So that had happened. So that's the only reason why my trash bag would be that heavy because I would only put it out once a month. And I found that most of the weight was fruits and vegetables. Okay. Never threw away potato, not once. Okay, so the fruits and vegetables are kind of heavy, like the cantaloupe, right? If it starts turning green or something like that there. And what other kind of fruits and vegetables? And kind of the watermelons, but um, no, not so much. But yeah, maybe the small watermelons and stuff. And I would throw away like a bag of apples because I had them for a while and they actually got mushy. I was like, oh, okay. So these are the things that I would get from like the food banks. Okay, so I always had some, at least some fruits, and then if I threw away the vegetables, it's because I never really grasped that you can only keep the vegetables for uh, 3 or 4 days. So I ended up with too much fruits and too much vegetables, and everybody knows that blueberries they get spoiled or rotten within a couple of days. I got lucky once with my blueberries. I went to a store, a supermarket, and they had blueberries for $1. I'm like, oh, okay. So I bought like 6 of them. You know what I'm saying? But I never got an emulsifier. All I ever had was a blender. And when you blend them blueberries, they don't really break down where you can get like a where you can make it a drink, even if you have a strainer. Okay, so mm, that idea didn't go so swell. I'm on that one place that sells stuff. What is the name of this place? I can see the name of it clear as day. I can see the store, but I just can't see the name. But you bid on it. Oh, bid. It's called bid something. So you would bid on it. Um, Now, with the emulsifiers, I don't know how this works. I think they do this, but sometimes people will bid on emulsifier, and I look at the bids I missed, and they won the bid with like $20. Okay. Now I'm like, okay, well, let me bid for the emulsifier. An emulsifier is a juicer. Okay. So I said, well, hey, if they're letting them go for $20 or so, let me try. And every time I do it, somebody just wants to have a bidding war with it. I'm like, you know what? And I did learn one thing with that bidding site. Don't buy anything, and if it's close to $100, because I've been on something. I think I got it for like 70 or 80. Plus, I paid the insurance, and I ended up paying maybe like $130 for that thing. It was a 10. Okay, and I wanted to have it for a family reunion, so people can sit under a tent. We had a pavilion, but I still wanted to get a tent, and I tried to give that tent away. But the young man, he took it down for me, but he didn't pack it up to take it. So now I ended up with the tent. So what is that thing called? What do you think that's called? Hold on, young people. So that's a job I noticed that had a bunch of young people in it. Bid, MacBid is the name of it. So that's a place you guys might want to think about getting a job on that because it looked like it had mostly young people in it. Okay, so they work in the back. Most of where the public is, you don't really see people working, but you do see the ones who kind of help you take something to your car. You do see them, but one day I went and I got to see the people working in the back. What the people in the back do is, if somebody takes something back or whatever, you can test it. So the only testing that they do, you can imagine that they don't want to test and uh, a juicer, right? Because juicers are they are really messy. Okay, you have to clean everything. You have to clean the container. You got to clean the blade. You got to clean off around the motor. You got to clean the peels and stuff like that. There, oh boy, everything that shines ain't gold, young people. Let me tell you. But I'm still going to try to bid for one. And they have new, they have like new, and they have as is. Okay. Now, whatever you bid on, they'll tell you to go in and look at it after you bid on it. Okay. Or possibly before you even bid on it. So what you do is if you go somewhere, if you go bid on it, and if it's like new or if it's new, you're going to get into a bidding war on the thing, okay? Because somebody else probably went in and checked it, and it's still in the box, taping on everything. So you're going to get like new, okay? Only thing I could tell you is I figured, well, I'll get a couple of the like news, and then I could kind of piece it together a little bit. Don't use that as a strategy, okay? Because don't use that as a strategy, okay? Because you're going to end up with two pieces of junk, basically. So, MacBids, it's a place where you might want to try. I don't know if there are any warehouses and stuff around here, but since I kind of live in an old mill town and kind of thing, uh, then maybe I'll try a couple of those places. I don't know. I have to see what the Most High wants me to do. But for right now, it's me asking you to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll subscribe to yours. And that'll help you get 1,000 subscribers. It'll at least put you one more and closer to it. And one thing I want to tell some of you new people is go live, do something like I'm doing, and ask people to subscribe to your channel. Okay, because I had this thing for years and I never asked anyone to subscribe to my channel. I thought that the information I had, my sharing, I thought that was good enough. You know, people would just subscribe to my channel. Nope. You know, you watch the social media influencers, and they could have I don't know thousands of uh, subscribers, and they still ask for people to subscribe to their channels. Now, I don't think it'll be anytime soon before I can get 10,000 subscribers or anything like that, but the social media influencers, they're constantly trying to get more subscribers so they can reach the $10,000 level. I mean, the 10,000 subscriber level or the 100,000 subscriber level. But anyway, you know, if you're trying to get 1,000, okay, either way it goes, what I'm saying is you're going to have to ask, right? The Bible says it like this: you have not because you ask not. And I have found that when when I subscribe to people's channels, some of them have uh, a pretty nice amount of subscribers already. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. So instead of just thinking that, hey, the people who I'm getting don't have any subscribers or anything like that, I'm not really sure what I thought. But some of them who are subscribing to my channel have a lot of subscribers. So I can always go on their channel and try to get some subscribers off of that channel. So uh, if I get 500 subscribers, and if I go to their channels, I should be able to get maybe one subscriber from off their channel that they're, who is already subscribed to them. So it's not going to be, I'm not taking them anything from them. So there's all kinds of ways to do it, young people. The only thing you got right now during these times is your imagination. And if you don't use it, you're going to be one of those stories. Okay. I'm not as bad as I'm just that I want to end it all, but there are some who do. I don't know how they could do that. So be of good cheer. The Most High got something planned for you because His thoughts are toward you. His thoughts are to give you a hope and a future and to prosper you. That's all His plans are. Okay? If you are a sinner, if you are a non sinner, the plans are the same because He said that He's holding back in His word somewhere. That He's holding it back so that none shall perish, that everyone has a chance to come into repentance, take the kingdom of heaven. And again, you're sooner or later, everybody gets that scripture. Okay, even the ones who are doing really good, even the social media influencers, they talk about the Bible. They might not talk about it the way I am, but they talk about it. They'll say, "Well, the Bible says," or something like that. That's how I like to do it. I like to say the Bible said, so that way you can pull it up on. Okay, I could tell you Matthew 1, uh, chapter 1, verse 11, and then I could tell it. I could read that for you, but you're going to have to learn how to do it yourself. You can't wait for me to give you the scriptures to read. If you hear somebody say something and they say it's in the Bible, there's this phenomenon. If you get one of those Bible apps or something like that, there, be careful because there are there's too much of the Bible being uh, corrupted. Okay? That's just how it is. It wasn't given to us corrupted, but anything that man has something to do with, something is going to go awry. Misinterpretation. There's this one scripture. Um, I'm, I'm talking about Matthew. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Let me look that up. What is that scripture? You got to find that. Some of you may already know it. Scripture that is missing. Um, New, oops, Testament. New Testament. Hmm. What is that scripture that is missing from one New Testament Bible? This is how I do my Bible studies. in different versions. All right. Enter, and let's see. All wise, all knowing, chat GPT. Yep, that's it. All right. Many verses are omitted from modern New Testament translations that are found in older versions, like King James Version Bible. All right. I'll just put it in the chat to let you know. I'm not pulling your leg. Now, I did not think it was because of this reason, but many verses are omitted from modern New Testament translations that are found in older versions, like the King James Version Bible. Examples include Matthew 17 and 21. That was the one I kind of knew by heart. And I knew it was in Matthew, but I wasn't exactly sure. Matthew 18:11 and 1 John 5:7, which are often excluded due to questions about their original inclusion in the text. Put it in the chat. So the what I posted had too many words in it. So let me see. I'm gonna have to take out a couple of words. First John. First John. What's it in First John? Let me see. First John 5:7. First John 5:7. First John 5:7. I need to go fell. First John chapter 5. This way. Repeated. First John 5:7. All right. So I put that in the chat. Search assistant. All right. So I used the search assistant to find this one. To tell you the truth, I only really knew about one. I didn't realize that there were so many. And instead of thinking that the Bible is corrupt, now I know, I just learned this today. I'm today's old on learning this one, that they were excluded because of the people. Let me see, because so the system. Interesting. Still with me there, everybody? I'm gonna figure out a way to get this to do what I want. No? Okay. My screen's too big. Let's see. Put it in. Okay, well, anyway, I already put it in. So that changed my, instead of feeling upset and that, oh man, the Bible was corrupted, and it's saying that this particular scripture is not in all the versions. Now I know to tell them that the reason why it's not in there because the newer versions take it out because The person who did the newer version questioned if this verse is in the older. Now, of course it was, but that's just me. But the person who did the newer versions um, wondered if it was in. Let me read it. Many versions are omitted from the modern New Testament translations that are not found in the older versions, like the King James Version. Examples include Matthew 17:21, Matthew 18 and 11, and John 5 and 7, which are often excluded due to questions about the original inclusion in the text. Now, let me see if I can get over my aphasia, which are often called, which are often excluded due to questions about their original inclusion. So that means Matthew 18 and 11 should be in 17 and 21. All right. Matthew 18 and 11 would probably be Matthew chapter 18, verse 11. So let's see. Matthew 18. I use the King James Online Version Bible. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I learned that today. So I could stop saying that. Matthew 18 and 11. Good. And it came to pass when Jesus had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and preach in their cities. Okay. These words are in black letters, not red. Now, when John had heard in the prisons the works of Christ, he sent two of his disciples. And that's kind of where we are now in 2026. We're going to ask. And he said unto them, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Okay, well, that is kind of how where we were, because John the Baptist was the one who said, here is the one uh, that is more worthy than me. I'm not worthy to tie his sandals. Or he's the one who said that. And he's the one who baptized them. So he knew that he was the one. But what we do is we get in, let's say, like prison, and then we get a little bit of doubt. Okay. And he said unto him, art thou he that should come? Or do we look for another? And Jesus answered and said unto them, go and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk, and the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached unto them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. So, right? So he might not be answering whatever I'm asking him to do, but I'm still blessed. That's the thing. I'm still favored. Okay. Because it says here in verse 6, 18, verse 6, and blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. All right. Every time I read that, I think about Job and everything he had taken from him. And I do try to remind the new people that what the Most High will do is he'll take everything away from you. And you can think of the Job. All right. Now, Job was a righteous man. I can't see where he had. He did kind of meditate because he prayed every day, and he was good for that. But I can't really remember him saying that he was blessed. All right, and but the Most High looked at him as being a righteous man, so he took all that stuff, everything, kids, houses, cars, dogs. He took everything, and Job did not curse him. So that's what I want for you. No matter what's being taken from you, just like I told you, not the stock market took everything I had this week, but I'm not going to curse God. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick with Him, and you'll get the same outcome, probably that Job did. He got everything back. Everything like the country western music song, play backwards. You get your house back. You get your car back. You get your dog back. You get your horse back. So what was happening to Job might not have happened to him all at once, but man, when it hit, it came one after another. He first lost his cattle, then he lost his other chattel, he lost everything, even things that were most dear to him, but he did not curse God. So the reason why I say it like that is because how much time it would have taken, right? So they didn't have phones where they could, call you. So somebody had to be out there, watch all that stuff happen, and then they had to go to where Job was and tell him, "Oh man, that's your field caught on fire," or something like that. Dude. And the worst part about your field catching on fire, okay, yeah, it will grow back the next year, but whatever got burnt up, you probably were using for like crypto or something. You know what I'm saying? Kind of make it 2026s. Okay, so anyway, I think that's enough. Let me leave it there, and I'll finish with verse 7. And as they departed, Jesus began to say unto the multitude concerning John, "What went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are kings, or in the king's houses. But what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall depart thy way before thee. Verily, verily, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist." See how the Most High looks at us? Notwithstanding that he is least in the kingdom of heaven, is greater than he. Okay? Verse 12, "And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force." Okay? I've used that scripture before, but I didn't use the whole context. All right? For all the prophets and the law prophesies until John. And if you will receive it, this is Elijah, this is Elias, which was for to come. And he that hears, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. But unto shall I liken this generation. It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. Okay, kind of look at it like somebody is having a tragedy, and you don't mourn with them. Okay, kind of look at it like they have the praise and worship dancers, and you just sit there whenever they're doing that. Okay, for John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he hath a devil. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend to the publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. Okay? All right. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. Okay. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto the heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. I don't know where it is, but if I see Capernaum going that way, I'm telling you I'm going the other way. Okay? Ooh, no, don't want to go that way. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. Remember that story where God was sending two angels to handle Sodom and Gomorrah, the twin cities or sister cities. We kind of like had two states, North and South, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and stuff like that. So that's probably kind of like what this was. It would have remained until this day. But I say unto you that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. At that time Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, Father, O Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. This would be what I would call a prayer that will get answered. If you don't know what to pray, try this one. Chapter 8, Matthew chapter 8, verse 25. Okay, anything he says is a prayer that will get answered. All right. Even so, Father, for it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me, my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Let that be you. Okay. And you know the way to do it. I just told you. Mourn with those who mourn. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Right, he'll see you. All right, or he'll see his, if he sent angels to destroy the twin cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, he'll send his angels to take care of you. The Bible says, be mindful of who you entertain, because you entertain angels unaware. Okay. So come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. We have that for the United States. I think it says something like, give me your poor and your huddled masses. Okay, I think that's on the Statue of Liberty. Because of the conspiracy theorists, I'm not sure which island it's on. All right, because they in out they in the world, they have something that's actually going on. They call timelines. Uh, they have let me see, what is that theory where you remember something being a certain way, like you remember Kix being spelled Kix, but now they spell it Kicks. What is that theory where you remember one thing from the past? What is that? Huh, from the past. It didn't. What is that called? Type in your little URL. Mandela effect. The theory you are referring to is also called a false memory. All right, that's true. Which someone recalls an event differently from how it actually occurred, or remembers something that never happened at all. This phenomena can be influenced by suggestions, misinformation, and cognitive ooh, distortions. All right, but I'm actually thinking of the Mandela effect. All right, 10 examples of false memory. So this is what the world has going on. Okay, at the same time, the ones like us that are in the kingdom won't have that, because we will remember what he has done for us. We will remember the journey that he has us on. We might get a little beside ourselves and strike the wall instead of speaking to the wall like Moses did, but um, I don't know how long they were in the wilderness when he did that, but they upset him enough. Familiarity breeds contempt. And plus, it was hot outside. They were complaining about water, so there wasn't any water. And since they were nomadic, they weren't really building or planting grapevines. So, so everybody is getting bitten with scorpions and ay, oy. So people are just miserable. And even though they seen the hand of the Lord, they still complain. So I don't want to complain. I do not want to complain. I don't. I remember what he did for me. And okay, sometimes he does stuff for me, and I would actually have to go or move to another state in order to enjoy it. Uh, so for example, I've seen him change a law for me and people like me, which we have seen them change laws now in 2025 or 2026. Did you know that they have this thing? It's called ARD, Accelerated Rehabilitation something. Well, they changed that this year. The way it was is if you did everything that you were supposed to do, they would expunge that. But if you didn't, so now they have taken that away, right? So for those of you that know, okay. So what is the Mandela effect? If you look at a map, you will see that it is southeast of the country. However, there is a community of people who claim to remember New Zealand being northeast instead of southeast. So that's what the world is dealing with. At the same time, we are dealing with the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so kind of look at it like that. Okay, so anyway, that's all I got. Are there any questions? Anybody need prayer? Prayer. Use your prayer. Use your imagination. If you use dancing and hollering and rolling around on the floor, use that. People ask me, what would they ask me? They'll ask me, or I'll ask them how they're doing, and they'll say something. And my response is, use your knees if you have to. So they'll say, okay, everything's okay, or it's kind of hard for me right now, and I'll tell them to use their knees, uh, which means pray. Okay, so I've been kind of consistent with that. It was one of the few things in my life that actually lasted this long, talking to people. So we're going to see how this goes. So like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. I just got to figure out how we're going to get this thing done. All right, no questions. All right, you had a chance to get me to pray for you. I'll be on tomorrow, and we'll try again. Don't be ashamed to ask for prayer. Everybody, I mean everybody, is hurting. People overseas are hurting because they're calling over here or hitting you up trying to scam you or something like that. Most of the people who are doing the scams, I don't think they're the ones who are making the most money off the scams. Because those scammers, they got offices and stuff like that. So people will scam you on something. It's pretty much the same as somebody will call you from a business trying to sell you something. The only thing is with the scammers, what they're selling is the scam. That's all. Okay. And I do know that if you can't give away what somebody is doing, because that would be the same as killing them. Like the guys with the cars. Which one? All right. Um, Most of us know that you can't win, but if it's somebody's first time, they might think that they can. Okay. And they probably will, but they're not going to win it every time because it's like going to Vegas. The house wins. Okay. So, but people still go to Vegas, and some of the conspiracy people that I've heard, they say that look, Vegas is kind of like a ghost town. I'm going to look that up and see. Uh, why don't you look it up and see as well? All right. So that's all I got. Just don't curse God. Let Him give everything back that the deceiver stole from you. And I'm not as excited or upset about losing all my money in the stocks. I mean, not the stocks, the Bitcoin, because maybe 3 weeks or so, you know how you get these little thoughts? We call them downloads. Okay. And one of the downloads I got asked me, if you don't believe in a society, why are you investing? And I got that blank look. Don't we love it? Don't we love to do it? Won't we do it? And sure enough, within a month, I lost everything. So I'm not thrown back. My problem is if I have a problem in the Lord, I'm having no problems. My problem is what's coming up and trying to have whatever I need. I would have had it in my hand. So now I have to use whatever the Most High is going to use his angels to give me. If you believe that he's going to send his angels down to take care of Sodom and Gomorrah, you got to believe he's going to send his angels down to take care of you. I have no need of anything. I live among my own people. Okay? So just be in good cheer. You got it. The hardest thing you're going to experience with young people is try to communicate with him, believe him, and trust him minute by minute. Those long minutes, those long hours, those long sleepless nights. I'll tell you something. As long as you're trying, you're going to be able to do it more and more and more till eventually you're doing it all the time. That little voice that you got, if you have an internal dialogue, that little voice you got in the back of your head, that's all you want to put out after a while. Just the scriptures. They say that if you put junk in something, you're going to get junk out of it. So if you put the scriptures in your head, then that's what's going to come out. That's what you're going to think about. The Bible said, happy is the man whose mind is stayed on Christ Jesus. Okay, so that's what you do now. Go toward the kingdom of heaven here on earth. Sometimes the kingdom of heaven is in churches, and sometimes it isn't. So you're going to have to find one that might not hire you. Okay, I mean, they've got a congregation, and if they need something done, they'll probably use somebody in the congregation. So you might not be able to get that type of help. But remember my early example with charitywater.org. If you take what you have, your little fiat or your little money or whatever, donate to them, and they will build wells in cities or I don't know neighborhoods that they don't have money. See how it works? So you take what you have, sell it or donate it so that nobody has a need. If you have enough to give something, all right, just give to one of these charities. And again, don't forget Doctors Without Borders, okay? They're good, legitimate places. And now with ChatGPT, you can find legitimate places because you can just ask ChatGPT. You don't have to wait on a commercial. You can ask ChatGPT or whatever. What are some of the legitimate places I can get it or I'm donating? So everything is for your good, but you got to use it and you got to ask and you got to get up. Um, right? Jesus, when he was here, he walked everywhere he went until that one time he rode that donkey. So, uh, oh, and then sometimes he rode on a boat, right? But the way this story went is you don't really want to have Jesus on a boat with you. I'm thinking of two stories where he was on a boat and it didn't go so swell for everybody else on the boat. But be a butcher, he was with him. One time he said, "Peace be still," and the other time he said, "Peter, why did you die?" Okay. So, uh, but everybody on that boat got wet. And who's that one guy? Jonah. Right? He got on a boat because he didn't want to do what the Most High wanted him to do. And the reason why I'm telling you these stories is because you got to get out and you got to go. Because Jonah knew that what the Most High was asking him to do would work. So he decided that he was going to go the other way. And everybody that was on that boat that day, because that's how they got around, they lost a lot, just like us. With this something last crash, we lost a lot. And that's because the Most High is trying to get us out of that and back to investing in the kingdom. That's what I've made, or that was my conclusion. So I'm going to go straight to I'm donating to Charity Water. Pay off some of the things that I've learned how to pay off using the Paramount Security Interest Holder status and the secure party creditor status. There's a way for you to pay things, not using cash. Remember, they're talking about FEMA, Federal Emergency Agency, and its problems right now. But there's another federal emergency uh, that people don't really talk about, right? It's called the Federal Emergency Relief Act. And it might have a couple of pages, but when you read it, somebody might want to teach you. Somebody might want to show you that there's no money. That's why the Trumpster, he's out there spending cash, but nobody is bringing him wheelbarrows full of money. Okay, they're just signing it. There is no money. Everything now is done by digital. You won't find out when Fed now comes through. The Orange Man, he's probably going to do a stimulus, but it's going to come through that Fed now. If you don't know about Fed now, you better ask somebody because the conspiracy theorists know about it. And their problem is if you get the Fed now, basic income, these types of things, they're going to attach that. Your money will be coming through the Fed now. And if you owe something, they're just going to take it right out of it. It isn't like it used to be. I think there's this thing where maybe close to 50%, and I've heard people in Congress say this in an interview, uh, 50% of people don't pay taxes. And out of that, maybe 20 or 30% of those people don't have to. Okay. So this is why we have such a deficit because the money isn't going. People aren't paying it. People just aren't paying the taxes. And they probably are justified to it. I'm looking forward to the Orange Man. I'm getting rid of the IRS. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? Because I remember that was one of the things he said he wanted to do when he took his second term. And we know that he has been doing that the things that he said he was going to do during his second term. And I'm not sure. I'm going to look this up, but some people say that the IRS offices are closed. I'm going to have to look that up and see how that's going. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, so if there's nobody needs prayer, then jaw jacked. So don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Buy me a cup of coffee, and we'll see you tomorrow.